out. We'll be fine, all right? Good, good. Same thing. Same thing.
Boswell started doing indoor drumline in the spring of 2012. That was our first time to do that, and we have just completed our 10th year of indoor drumline shows. Indoor drumline is rudimental percussion inside of a gymnasium arena.
Indoor drumline is more of like a Broadway style pageantry arts. So it's not necessarily like put on a band uniform and go out and perform all unison. It's kind of, everything has its own identity and it has a little bit more of a theatrical part and portion to what we do.
We are indeed competing against other groups, and that involves shows and contests and traveling to regionals and then traveling to, the World Championships in Dayton, Ohio. It involves, building props. It involves, costuming. It involves, set design. It's pretty intense. So Tyler Orbison is the other instructor, the other director of the Boswell Pioneer Drumline.
Okay, I don't know how you guys do it, but we do 8 from the Met and we start. Everybody cool with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go.
He and I came here to Boswell at the same time. Actually, he came 1 year before me because I couldn't get let out of my contract in Arlington. So we devised a plan to send Mr. Orbison out to kind of start to get everybody ready and kind of prep everybody for what was coming. When we first got here to Boswell, the band program here at Boswell was phenomenal. Just absolutely fantastic. They were going to state every other year. When we got out here, the band was really good and the drumline was really okay. And over the last 10 years, we've really developed a culture here at Boswell that really supports excellence and hard work and fun, because as the great Keith Stevens would always say, hard work equals fun.
Oh.
For me, drumline is it's basically like a family, and that's like the reason I kept coming back, was because there's just so many people I met here. And then, of course, I love playing, but just the friends, and then it's more than just friends to me. It's more like I built a family here with everyone that I've been in with. So that's what drumline really is to me.
By spending that much time with each other, you watch relationships form that are going to be with these kids for the rest of their lives.
It's like a family. I've played in a couple of bands, and there's always rivalry and there's always competition between each other, which it's important, but it's never like the Boswell band. I mean, it's never like the drumline. They're just so united. You can feel the love for each other. You can feel it's really like a family, and I'm super honored and grateful to have the opportunity to play with them.
Our year before, in 2019, it wasn't what we wanted it to be, and so when we got home, we kind of all recalibrated our thinking, as far as like, this is not going to happen again. And we always talk about sitting on the curb. It was us coming back from sitting on that curb, having that talk in the parking lot, with the kids about, well, it's not about it's what happens now. That's what defines us. Do we just go and feel bad about ourselves, and or do we admit, okay, this was, XYZ happened, this is why we ended up here, all right, what are we going to do to change that? So we did that, and we changed it, and we went, and it was a whole thing, man. It was like a whole year of reckoning and coming back full circle, and engines roaring, and then you take that away.
Breaking news tonight, the coronavirus forcing millions more Americans into virtual lockdown.
Coronavirus has caused some of the largest counties in Texas to already declare local disasters. Harris, Montgomery, Fort Bend, Travis, and most recently Dallas took this step.
I'm announcing that within the next 24 hours, you will see the city of Fort Worth enact tighter restrictions on public spaces and public buildings.
Starting the year over, getting going again was absolutely terrifying. It was the most terrifying, gut-wrenching thing that I've had to do, because I had a bunch of people, seniors, parents, stakeholders in this program. When you have a program like this, there's an expectation. All right, there's always going to be an expectation. There just is. What are we going to do? Nobody was giving us any information. Nobody was saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Our school district came out right out of the gate, and I just praised them. They came out and said, we will not compete in any marching band contest. The bands will not travel to away football games. This will be a very minimalistic year, okay? And me being who I am and believing in what I believe in, I was like, that is the right decision. I was 100% behind that, okay? Where it started to get gut-wrenching was, okay, what are we gonna do for the indoor drum line? I have about 4 staff members that work with me just in the drum line, that rely on this drum line running at that level to be able to feed their families, to be able to support their lives, and so that was terrifying, and we have all of these seniors, I said this a million times this year, the 2 things we had to do coming into this year was honor the seniors and train the freshmen. That's what had to happen. And everybody had to be able to keep their job. We couldn't break up the band. So how am I going to make all that happen while nobody has any clue about what to expect in the future? All right, so just the weight of that was really laying heavy on me. And so I had to sit down in front of a bunch of parents outside. The meeting had to be outside. It was on the band grid, and it's me sitting on a stool with a speaker, and then everybody spread out in their lawn chairs all over the football grid. And man, I was so nervous. I was just reefed beyond any because I had to look at these people in the eye and say, maybe we're gonna do this, maybe we can do that. And they were already super disappointed because their marching band season had already been taken away, and we had not ruled out that we were gonna compete or not compete, so all that was still kind of in the air. And it wasn't for about another month and a half until, I made the decision, myself, Mr. Orbison, we made the decision, we're not going to compete.
Yeah, it was really, really hard because I'm a kind of person who, if I love something or if I love you, I'm going to give everything that I have to that or you. I was born that way, I was raised that way, and that's how I will always be. And I think my sophomore year, I was pretty bad. Like, I was bad. I mean, everyone's not the greatest their first year playing a new instrument. And I remember in Dayton, our very first performance, it was my worst performance I've ever had in my entire life. And I remember it like it has stuck with me for a very long time. And you know, we didn't move on. Like, we played so bad that we didn't go on to the second day. And I was heartbroken because I felt like it was my fault. And I remember at the hotel, there's a bench outside of I think it's Hampton Inn that we stay, I believe. And, you know, we had came back, we got off the bus, and Spoon was standing there talking and telling us basically that we did not make it. And I just stood there and I was like, it is my fault. Like I truly felt the weight on my shoulders. Like, I truly felt like it was all my fault. And when we got up and he was like, you know, the night's yours, get a shower, rest, we're gonna go tomorrow and watch more people. And I stood outside the hotel and I started crying. I started crying so hard, and Mr. Spoon pulled me to the side. He said, come sit on this bench. I'm like, let's sit on this bench. And he's sitting there, knowing that we just did terrible. He's sitting there and he's swinging his feet like he does. He's just swinging back and forth, him just being who he is, trying to be optimistic. And he goes, in a year, we're gonna come back and you're not gonna feel this way. He said, because you're gonna be better. Everyone knew that I was terrible. That's okay. And he said, you're gonna be better. And he said, and then we're gonna come back on this bench and we're gonna sit here again. And he said, and we're gonna have the same talk and we're gonna look back a year ago today, how you felt like, how you're feeling now, and then how much you have improved to where you are. And I think from that day on, I pushed myself like so much because I wanted to sit on that bench and never feel the same way that I had felt that day. And when my sister plays club volleyball, and we were at a tournament in Denver, Colorado, and we were in the hotel, and my mom was like, this is getting real. The president just said it's a pandemic, like, you know, we're going to lockdown, there's no Dayton, like, you're not gonna get any of this. And the first thing I thought of was not even how good we were last year, not even like we could have won last year. I didn't even think about that. The first thing I thought about is, I'm never gonna get that bench talk again. like I'm never gonna get to do that. And so I think, wow.
Can you take a second to explain?
This is embarrassing. I think for me this year, you know, people are like, you're being cheated your senior year. You're not getting everything that you were supposed to get. And I do feel that way. Don't get me wrong, I do feel that way. But I don't, because I was upset when we weren't gonna do competition, because I knew I would never, ever get that bench talk ever again. But I was so into and so like, yes, like, let's do a show, let's keep on doing it. Not for the sake of myself and not because I want closure. It's because I don't want any of the younger people, any of the freshmen, I don't want them to ever feel the way that I felt. And I know that if we do this show, like, they are going to get that experience that they need to never feel that way. Because motivation is great, but feeling really terrible about yourself isn't great at all. And I think I was just so excited about this year because I don't want anyone, the new freshmen, all the sophomores and the juniors, I don't want anyone to feel the way that I ever felt that day. So it is just coming to COVID in general, it is a very, very hard talk. So yeah.
So we began. So we started, little by little.
So Orbison was like, I'm not telling you what the show is. When I say the title, you're gonna laugh at it. You're not gonna be excited about it. It's not gonna be as impactful. And he goes, I will tell you that it's different from every single year that we've done.
So the first time we got to hear the show, after Orbison did it, we had never done it this way. We waited until he was finished with the entire thing.
And we were sitting there, and we were just supposed to have a normal practice that morning. And it was taking a lot longer, to get it all started because we were supposed to have a meeting. And I see Orbison walk out with the speaker, and then I see Roundy come out, Spoon, and Kavanagh come out. And I was like, it's the show. I didn't say anything, but I was just like, I know what's about to happen. I was like, okay. And so they were like, okay, come to the auditorium. And we're sitting there, and they pass out the parts, and Orbison is like, so I have the show, I'm about to play it for you. And he goes, and yeah, and then he hits play, and he goes, the show is called Feeling 2020. We played it, and I am not kidding, 45 seconds in, my eyes started watering.
And half the kids were crying. I was crying. It was exactly what this group needed for this year. The show was so perfect for what we needed. And it just really hit all the points. And man, we were just over the moon when we heard it. And Feeling 2020 was kind of his. It was his answer, his response to the pandemic. That's how he was feeling. He wanted to just be able to feel again. We all kind of lost a little bit of ourselves through this. A lot of people found a lot of themselves that they didn't know that they had. But everything that we did on a daily basis, that changed. And being able to feel that again was a big thing that he wanted to, convey.
I remember after that rehearsal, I remember getting on the phone with my mom. She was at work, and I was driving home, and I just started crying because to me, it's just because the whole idea of it is you want to feel something, you want to feel the same way you felt before COVID happened. You want to feel differently after COVID happened. You feel like you want COVID to be over. And I was just telling my mom, I am so thankful. I feel so thankful for having people and instructors who are just as emotionally tired as we are and put the time in to figure out how to put a show on, write the beats, get people, have a documentary. I just felt so thankful.
All right, so let's start with Zach's lead-in, and then we will play 35, 36, and 37 and stop. Everybody with me? Yes. All right, here we go. 1.
The amount of effort, the amount of time, the amount of physical demand it takes to carry, for example, the biggest fifth bass drum, which is a 28-inch bass drum, is gnarly. To be able to hold that up and to be able to control that and to be able to move that drum around a performance area with ease is something that takes a lot of training, a lot of conditioning. All of those things are physical activities that everybody has to dial in and hone in on.
What's going on right now? Yeah, Zach. So when you hear what he sounds like, we got to be underneath that. And there's a lot more of us than there is of him. There's only one of him, right? And we got the pick. And the lyrics. So this is going to be kind of a science experiment balance-wise. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean when I say balance hits? It means like, you know, like when you listen to the radio, is the hi-hat the loudest thing? You know what I'm saying? Like somebody decides what you can hear, what takes importance over other things, right? Not the balance. Usually when people say balance in a musical setting, they're talking about volume. Okay, does that make sense? All right, here we go.
Because it's hard to play a musical instrument just sitting on this stage. That's hard. Like people have careers just from doing that. You know, and then you take that and put, you know, moving and movement and coordination of body to music and thought. Yeah, it's pretty, we're asking a lot of these young people.
People think like how difficult band is in general, not even just drumline, band. You know, people are like, oh, band is a sport. And being a person who has played sports in the past, I will say that doing volleyball and basketball and doing track and shot put and discus, and then doing band and drumline is so much harder than all of those combined. Like, the physicality of it, just like you have to have a strong core, you have to have a strong back, an upper back and a lower back. I mean, your legs have to be strong, because let's say you don't have a strong core, you're gonna be standing there shaking and your legs are getting stronger. And not only that, but you have to be mentally strong, because you have to block out the fact that you're hurting and that you're tired. And then you have to be even more mentally stronger, because you have to focus on what you're playing. And it is a lot harder physically and mentally than people think.
It's only as impressive as your weakest link. All right, if there's one person that's not doing it the exact same, all of that hard work and all of that specialness does not matter. So having to really focus in and work on the one kid and make sure that the one kid is up to the level of everybody else is a big thing that we do around here.
What have you been doing if it has not been teaching him high moves? What did you teach him in the fall?
I helped him with his rolls.
I don't know that you did, Zach. I don't know that you did do that. I think that might be a lie. Nice one, Zach. All right, you gonna work on this, Quentin? Yeah. All right, cool. Here we go. Everybody,
So now we have twice as many people, and you guys may not be used to how I do things, but you gotta get used to it really, really quickly, okay? So especially for today, for session number 1, everybody needs to kind of go into it with an increased understanding of how to behave themselves. Otherwise, the noise gets out of control, all right? So I'm gonna be up there most of the time. There'll be teachers down here, but they'll know not to get in the way, and you have to also know that. Does everyone understand what I'm talking about right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. It's gonna be okay, dude. All right, that's awesome. So respectful.
So much, he'll give you a serve for your teeth.
All right, my teeth felt that one. That was good.
battery, plant. Listen this time. You'll be able to answer. Don't look at him. Look this way. Yep.
Monday night, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning, Friday night, all day Saturday. We'll do like an 8 to noon load. My goal is to be in the parking lot at CT by 3. We go on first. We're the first one on. So that's good for us because we don't have to go in and sit in the gym and then do the thing, because these are different than shows. We're kind of running it like we run our open house. So that's good for us because we'll have all the momentum going straight onto the floor and we'll play. And then we'll get to watch the other group.
Hey, this is kind of what it is. And I realized we didn't do this at all in the fall, so this is like really this group's first time to ever have a real live drumline rehearsal. So in a normal year, we would have done this about 1 billion times by now, and we'd be really good at it. But I thought it was good.
Yeah, man. I have nothing, I'm just kind of speechless, really. I have nothing.
We get the vocals in and we play a little bit better.
It's gonna be
Try
special.
to bring the house down Saturday. So I think that.
A lot of things are going through my head right now. I mean, it is the first show of this year, so ever since last year COVID got shut down, it's been like a whole year since we've had a drumline show. So it's like I'm really hyped up for it. Everyone's really hyped up. I'm really happy that I'm getting to do this again. This last year got all cut off and all that. So I'm really excited.
Also be performing their show Feeling 2020. Please join me in welcoming to the floor, Boswell.
It's like a bunch of emotions. You know, the whole show is based around like the year of 2020. So it was just a lot of like moments at like in the beginning of the show. We started out all like sad, droopy, and like we're all down, and then it's supposed to be like when COVID is around. So we have these masks on, and then a little bit later in the show, we take off the masks, and then we all get like really happy progressively as the show goes on until we reach that point. And then I don't know exactly what happens at the end yet, but that's how far we've got.
Nothing really sounded good. Lots of misstep-offs, lots of people falling down, lots of people bringing their cymbals up 2 beats late, just random piddly little crap like that. We got to eliminate it. Okay? But I'm obviously very, very, very proud of it. Just think about where we started in August. Like, what we have, like 6 hours as a band, something like that. I mean, we've come a long way, guys. So I just want everybody to understand that from, let's say, the day we passed out the indoor music to now is maybe half of it. Now we got the rest of it. Right? And I don't mean putting the rest on the floor, although that's part of it. I mean, like, how do we do what we just did well? That's the hardest bit. That's what we got to get done in the next month. All right, so it's going to be is everybody excited about that? I hope so. All right, guys. Whatever you feel when you're in there, hype up what you like, don't hype what you don't like, but feel damn good about what you've accomplished relative to where we started. That's my advice. Everybody understand? Yeah, have fun, guys. Great job. Thank you.
So all the little things, the freeze was a big one, the kids in quarantine, like all of those things, didn't really affect us because we had taken competition off the table. We are so programmed and so hardwired to compete. When we did take that away, man, it was pretty liberating, to be real honest. Because there was, every single week somebody was missing, or 2 or 3, or that one week, like the entire front ensemble, except for like 4 people. I think it was like the marimba line. And it was like the only thing left in the front for like 2 weeks. But, just all of those little things, because we had taken the competition tag off, we were able to keep moving. And the thing that makes this whole thing awesome, and the thing that makes the whole thing work, is that if you would have came to a rehearsal, and if you would have come and watched the drumline rehearse during 2020, when we were going after Witch Hunt and having all that success, and then fast forward and walked into a rehearsal of the Feeling 2020 group that just had the indoor show this last year, and you would have said, and I would have said, hey, which group do you think is going to Dayton? Which group do you think is rehearsing for World Championships? You wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have known. The kids and the way that we presented it and the way that we kind of put it all together just fostered excellence either way, and that right there, that's what this whole thing was about. Honor the seniors, train the freshmen. this is super cool. You are all of the human beings that, you are my life. You understand what I'm saying? Every single person in here is why my family gets to eat food, is why my daughter gets to have clothes. I only get one time a year to look at everybody in the eye. Alright? I didn't get to do it last year. And I was super sad. Alright? Tonight's gonna be incredible.
So after we do the show, I figured, parents are gonna want to say hi or take pictures, and I know y'all don't want to take y'all's pictures crying or anything. I don't want to take pictures crying. I'm gonna be crying, but I brought a box of tissues. So after you do all that, we are going to come to the floor. I'm going to tell y'all to sit in a specific place in a circle, and I want y'all to sit there, and I will give my final remarks.
This is unlike anything you'll ever experience again. I said, you're witnessing 2 years of just being released on the floor of emotions and pain and joy and disappointment and loss. It was truly special.
Boswell will be performing their show, Feeling 2020. Please join me in welcoming to the floor Boswell High School!
Welcome to Feeling Therapy, Inc. I'm pleased to meet you. Our institute facilitates therapies to help you regenerate and expand your range of emotions. Our advanced technology, color stimulation, reflection therapy, and mind image processing will guarantee that all of your original emotions will be 100% restored. You will be feeling better than ever.
If I could choose anything, I would be good, and that one day I would fall into love and stay. But fall into love is nothing. I keep on running and see through the stories I know that I know. I don't wanna live like this. I just wanna feel something. I just wanna feel. I just wanna feel something. I just wanna feel. Really feel so that I can really feel like a person again. If I am telling the truth, watching my friends break their heart into two makes me jealous. I know that it's true. Oh, what can you do? In the night, I keep on running and sing all the stories I know that I know. I don't wanna die, I don't wanna live like this. I just wanna feel something. I just wanna feel something. I just wanna feel. I just wanna feel something. I just wanna feel.
will be feeling better than ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Boswell Pioneer
I mean, every single person that's been here in this group with me, it's like, they've always been family members. I don't even know how to put it into words. I just want to thank you. I mean, there's not much more that I can say except for thank you.
People always ask me, if you're in so much pain all the time, how do you get through it? Most of the time I just answer with, it's because I love it so much. Although that is true, I love this art with my whole heart. The real reason is because there is no greater pain than not loving who you are, not loving what you look like, or even being left alone. And the things that take away that pain is y'all. Y'all make me feel safe. Y'all make me feel loved. Y'all make me feel like it's okay for me to be who I am. And in the matter of fact, when I'm with y'all, I know exactly who I want to be. Y'all never make me feel like I'm alone. Y'all gave me a home. Y'all gave me a purpose. And most of all, y'all gave me another family. Y'all make up my heart the most. And if I had one symbol, one thing that sits in my heart most deeply, it is y'all.
Looking back on the season, I think it was amazing. I think I would not have changed a single thing we did. I don't think I would. I think that all the stress and all the, panic attacks and all the nervous breakdowns that I think I had in the fall to honor these kids and to make sure that we are not letting them down, we didn't. We didn't. And there's not and I can sit here and honestly, at the looking back on the whole thing, I can look back and say that we did not let down a single student or a single family at all. And that was my biggest fear, is that I was going to have to look somebody in the eye and say, well, I guess I made the wrong decision, or I led us astray, and we didn't.
I would be good.